Alright, so it is now a Sunday morning, and I thought that I was going to be able to start this thing up and actually move it, because I had a friend help me bleed the brakes the other day, and I thought I was basically ready to go. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I turned the key, and nothing happened. So, as you might be able to see right here, that's my finger, by the way. It's nothing weird. The starter is now hanging down. I just pulled the starter out because although there seems to be power going to it, from what I can gather, the starter's not doing anything. So I'm gonna hook up some stuff to it and try and figure out what the heck is going on. My instinct is that maybe the starter solenoid is just a little crappy, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So let's check it out, see what's going on, and go from there. Okay. Whoa. Camera got a little wonky. Sorry about that. Alright. So, I got my power probe. And now, first things first. Okay. So the big wire has power. That's good news. Hopefully, the starter itself has ground. We'll see. And this thing should have power. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to hook up a multimeter to this dude right here, and we're gonna see what happens when I actually turn the key inside. I'm not gonna be able to see it, but you probably will. So let me hook up that, and I will be right back. We'll see what the heck happens here. Alright. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do next. I got the multimeter set up here. I got it hooked up to this wire. So this is the wire that comes from the ignition switch and tells the starter to actually do stuff. This should show 12 volts when I turn the ignition switch to the start position. If it does, and the starter doesn't flip around like crazy, then we know that the starter solenoid is messed up. If there's not 12 volts here, then we know that there's some sort of disconnect between the ignition switch and this wire. Or maybe I just have a bad wire on my multimeter, but that's less likely. So, I guess we'll turn the ignition switch and see what the heck happens. Let's do it. I can't see what's happening. Alright. So I've turned the ignition switch a handful of times. I don't know what the heck happened. I'm gonna have to refer back to the video and see. Alright, let's check it out. Okie dokie. So, looks like nothing is happening, which makes me think that there's some sort of break in the wire. Just to be sure though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disconnect the wire from right here and put my multimeter right on the wire itself, just to make sure I'm not crazy. Because sometimes just weird stuff happens, and I don't know, this is just sort of a sanity check for me. So I'm gonna pull that off and put my multimeter on it and see what happens. It's possible that, well, I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, I'm gonna test that next. See ya. Okay, just as a sanity check, I have disconnected the wire, the ignition wire, from the ignition switch wire, sorry, from the starter, and I just have my meter hooked up to it. This is just sort of a sanity check to make sure that nothing is too crazy. So I'm gonna turn the ignition switch again and see what the heck happens. All right, you get to watch. Unfortunately, I don't. What do you think? Is anything happening down there? All right, let's refer back to the video and find out. Okay. I just felt like something was weird here. So I decided to take my fluke meter here and hook it up to my battery cables on the battery itself and see what the voltage was. As you can see, it's 0. So remember how a second ago I was sort of joking, saying that maybe my wires on my fluke meter could be bad? Well, I think I have just actually proven that, and that is exactly how life goes. I don't know why the heck this is happening. right now I'm wiggling all the wires around to see if there's like a broken spot. So far, nothing. Strange. I think I'm gonna put the different tips on the ends of this and see what happens next. All right, hold on. All right, I just put my different set of ends on my fluke meter, and guess what? 12 volts. So at this point, I can tell you that these little clips are not trustworthy. Okay, so now I gotta go back and test my starter again because apparently my fluke meter is lying. So, all right, back to square one. All right, we're gonna try this again now. I just grabbed a different set of multimeter poker things, and hopefully these ones work a little better than the first. So, looks like this is showing 12 volts, so that's a good sign. All right, so now I'm gonna poke through this, and I'm gonna go turn the key again, and we're gonna watch what this multimeter does on the camera. All right, let me zoom in a little. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go turn the key, see what happens. Is it starting? Do good things. All right, now I gotta stop the camera, try this again, see what the heck happens. All right, be back. So it appeared that nothing was happening when I was turning the key. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to go under the dashboard and feed this thing power and see if the power actually makes it all the way down this wire, because that'll tell us if the wire is broken. Maybe the end of it is bad here, maybe the other end is bad, or maybe it'll tell us the ignition switch itself is busted, which is possible because I was jamming a nail in it, you know, about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you remember that video. So anyways, so I'm gonna feed this thing some power and we're gonna see what happens. All right, so crazy thing just happened. So I noticed there was a broken wire on the starter, or not broken, but it was frayed, the wire that I was just testing. So I put a new end on it, but when I put the new end on, the way I did it was I pulled the wire up through the engine bay so I didn't have to do it on my back. And I pulled it up through this area. As I was doing that, I peeked down here and I saw, I don't know if you can see it, but this hole is for shifter linkage that goes on the steering column. And I moved it up and I thought, well, that's weird. It's a floor shift car, but it has steering column linkage. So then I went in here, hopped in the car, and I noticed that you can take this, oh, now it's locked. You can take this whole column and you can turn it like an automatic, like a column shifted car, but it has no column shift part. So then I said, well, that's weird. I wonder if there's a neutral safety switch on the bottom of the column. And sure enough, not sure if you can see it under here. There we go. So here's the neutral safety switch, and when you turn the collar of the column, I don't know if you can see it, but basically the neutral safety switch is activated or inactivated, and it's acting like it should. Basically, if it's in park or neutral, it'll start the engine. If it's in some other gear, then it won't. So right now, if I wiggle this just right, I've already thrown the starter back in. Hold on, gotta get it just right. There we go. So now the engine will start up. Well, most likely. At least it'll turn over. The weird thing is that there's no spot here for a shifter on the column, and it has a seemingly sort of factory looking shifter hole in the floor. So I don't really know what's going on here. I don't know if this is not the factory steering column or what. But the moral is, it was a neutral safety switch causing this whole problem the whole time. So I think what I might do is just disconnect it from the bottom of the column and always keep the car in park, so that it starts up normally. And then maybe at some point I can hook it up properly to a floor shift of some variety, like this thing maybe, I don't know. So anyways, I guess that's it. I guess we've solved the mystery of the starter that doesn't work. Pretty weird, right? Alright, so I think that probably wraps up this episode. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. See ya.